My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Okay, this is video number 2 that I'm doing reviewing. Check the first one to see what I said and which video that I review. Okay, King Charles can trot out Lionel Richie, all the black OBEs, and every other black person he's ever met. But until he does right by his mixed race daughter-in-law and grandkids, he will never know peace. Alright, 53 seconds. Is it continue? Okay. Okay, so there's couple videos. Let's continue. 53 seconds.
And then came Meghan, widely perceived here as a cold-shouldered outsider in a white world. A story that resonates.
There was a rejection of him and her. Really made us, you know, look into it with faces like this. You know? And we still haven't quite recovered. You would think the relationship would have improved. But that confession about the color of Archie's skin, what might it be? That was a big blow. That was a punch in the solar plexus. That really stunned us and stunned all the people in the Commonwealth who have the racial colors you and I have. You know? It stunned us. Still does. Me.
And then
Okay, it's playing. Okay. And the other thing I should have mentioned in the other video, I probably will cut this piece, put it over there. And in terms of the lies that Charles, you know, keep on.
The most damaging charge that is made in relation to your marriage is that you were, because of your relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, from the beginning, persistently unfaithful to your wife and thus caused the breakdown. What is your response to that persistent criticism?
Oh, that's the persistent criticism, is it? Well, and the trouble is, you see, that these things, again, as I was saying earlier, are so personal. It's difficult to know quite how to, you know, to talk about these things in front of everybody. And obviously, I don't think many people would want to. But I mean, all I can say is that there's been so much speculation feeding on every other kind of speculation that, you know, it all becomes bigger and bigger. I mean, all I can say is that I mean, there is no truth in so much of this speculation. And Mrs. Parker Bowles is a great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise.
So I said, I want my husband. And she said, well, and she looked down the whole time. I said to Camilla, I'm sorry I'm in the way. I obviously am in the way. And it must be hell for both of you. But I didn't know what's going on, don't you know? In the car on the way back, my husband was over me like a bad rash. I cried like I've never cried before. It was anger. It was 7 years of pent-up anger coming out. Cried.
So many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise.
When you think of the marriage of Harry and Meghan, he seemingly looking as if he is really a nice person walking her down the aisle. I mean, we know all the backstabbing that happened in the background, but putting the front, the facade that he's walking her, you know, because he always want applaud. I'm telling you, that part he got me on this one. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Him walking Megan down the aisle, that's because I didn't know what was going on in the background. He got me on that. So he lied to the people, lied to Megan and everybody else that he's a good person. He welcomed her into the royal family, but meanwhile they were sabotaging the wedding.
Was with American media, I think, and the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
Okay, so that's another thing, the lies that he keeps on telling people. Okay, there's the other one here. It continues. It's a thread. Okay, quote, we were really disappointed to learn that the idea of having a member of their family, let me pause that, of their family, okay, quote, we were really disappointed to learn that the idea of having a member of their family of the same racial mixture as ourselves wasn't a nice thing. If they didn't like to have one of us in their family, it was a great indication to us that we're not part of that family. Coronation. Okay, 1 minute and 41 seconds. I have a feeling some parts from the previous one is repeated on that one.
I'm going to cut forward many decades now to the present day. And the debate about the monarchy, the British royal family.
It's a major disappointment to discover that the person or the people that you were taught was the mother country, the people who we should love, didn't really have the same feeling in return. You know,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at this of her answer to think that they will have the same feeling for you as they do with their own real family. What the hell? How did you get into, I'm assuming this is Jamaica? Our ancestors were slaves? The things that they put black people through? You think they will have the same feeling? Oh my goodness. But let's continue.
What happened, for example, to Meghan Markle looked from our side of the fence really disappointing. That's the word I would use. We were really disappointed to learn that the idea of having a member of their family of the same racial mixture as ourselves was not a nice thing. So if they didn't like to have one of us in their family, what about all of us who've been living, growing up to the belief that we were part of them? I mean, that's really what has made so many Jamaicans want to abolish the monarchy.
The king has taken on. What kind of king do you think he'll be?
Well, you know what you're getting, because he's been practicing for a bit. And I don't think he'll change.
To change from being, to having a monarchical head of state, to having our own head of state, a Jamaican national. It really showed us a lot, of course.
And I've gave a warning to Jamaican, okay, because the institution like to go in the background. So you guys, if you do become a republic, be very careful. And I hope every Jamaican stay true to themselves and understand the foundation, the fabric of the institution. Of when I mean institution, the fabric of the Jamaican institution, to not easily, okay, be bought. What I mean by being bought, where they pay politicians to undermine the people, the Jamaican, because the Brits are really good at that. Okay, so be careful once you become a republic, and then look into Haiti as an example. Even though it's not the same thing, you guys then get your how do you call this, your freedom the same way as the Haitian. But I do not know fully well about this, but well, in a sense, yes. I'm thinking and answering my own thing in my head. When you look at one thought at a time, the first thing that I was thinking is the undermine of Haitian politician to help serve the people. Okay, then I was like, well, they didn't do that. But when you think about all the guns, okay, guns that is being inserted into the Haitian population. They're killing each other. Who's bringing it? I don't even need to read this. Okay? I don't even need to read it anyplace else. It has to be an outsider who feel this is the best way to eliminate each other. Okay? So this is another thing Jamaican needs to be very careful about. Just take a peek at Haiti. Just take a peek at Haiti and make sure you don't repeat the same thing. If you united, you stay together, I think Jamaica, once it become a republic, it will be a very great nation. Let's finish listening to that.
It was a great indication to us that we're not part of that family. The family that we thought sheltered us, that we fought for, that we helped rebuild their country, doesn't love us.
I mean, I agree with her, but you had to wait until now, until what happened to Megan, to see that they weren't really protecting you. Let's continue. Okay, quote, we love Harry and Meghan, we love the whole royal family, but we don't love some of the things that have been done. We can't love those things and love ourselves. Okay, Barbara Blake, Hannah says she'll watch the coronation, but wants Jamaican Republic. Alright, so I guess this is the beginning. Let's listen.
It sounds like it's from Meghan Markle. This was a big moment in the way that people perceive the royal family and the UK as well.
It was sad that after all that happened to them, she felt it necessary to speak out about the reasons why they'd left. So many things were being said by the media. So many very negative things were being said. I can't blame her and him for going public to give their side of the story.
That's exactly that's exactly why they did the Oprah interview. So she gets that. She gets that. Okay, because the other ones, some part of their brain is missing. You know, like Harry and Meghan come out of nowhere to do the Oprah interview. There was a reason to set the record straight. The narrative that they were going with, the establishment, the UK British media, the narrative that they were going with was completely false. So these were the things that would have stayed in the history of our consciousness and our mind, or where people are writing books. These were the things they were going to make reference to. But Harry and Meghan had to come out. They had to do the Oprah interview and said their truth. All right, so she understand that part, why the Oprah interview was said. All right, was done pretty much
to give their side of the story, and it wasn't a pretty sight, and they chose their words carefully. But it shocked us to know, to find that there was a rejection of him and her, really made us, you know, look into it with faces like this. You know, and we still haven't quite recovered. We're very proud of what they've done. We admire their charitable work. And we love them. We love them. We love the whole royal family.
Oh, God.
But we don't love some of the things that have been done. We can't love those things and love ourselves at the same time.
Will you be watching?
That's a very good way of the different layers, the different branches of things. So I understand her. I understand her. Okay.
Saturday.
Oh yes, I was around for the first coronation.
Oh damn! How
I
old is
watch
she?
television, and this is a television spectacle. I'll be watching, but
how old is she? If she was there during that coronation, well, then again, anyway, she looks good for her age if she was there around that time. But anyway, let's listen.
I'll be hoping that we hurry up and make Jamaica a republic and get us out from under having the monarchy as head of our nation, where we have to bow to such a person and sing songs of praise to such a person. You would think the relationship would have improved, but that confession about the color of Archie's skin, what might it be?
One of the things, I know she is repeating some part that I've seen already, but one of the things that she said here that made me think, where is it? Let's listen to it again. Somewhere here.
Nation, where we have to bow to to such a person and sing songs of praise to such a person. You would think the relationship would have improved, but that
the relationship would have improved.
The king has taken on. What kind of king do you think he'll be?
Well, you know what you're getting because he's been practicing for a bit. And I don't think he'll change.
But they continue with the negativity. That's the thing. You would think they would improve and change their ways. No. And it goes back. Oh, I was showing you this because I saw it under a comment. I bookmarked it. That's why I was able to find it really quickly, because it makes so much sense. Okay, Britain is a constitutional monarchy based on 400 years of laws created by the elite establishment for the benefit of the elite establishment. In a global world, Britain needs a written constitution and an open democracy for the benefit of all British people. Monarchy has no place in a modern and progressive Britain. Okay, so this part here where it says it was created by and for the elite. So this is the thing here. They were not thinking about other people. When I first read this, one of the things that I was thinking, if you see how they're removing poor people, immigrants, ship them over there and whatever. If they remove all of the poor people in the UK, I just would love to see how they do, because they don't want to do any work. They don't want to lift anything. How are they themselves going to survive? Because they don't put one and one together where you need each other for certain things to work. This aspect of people, I don't know, of our modern society have been completely disappear. They do not know you need other people for things to work. They only think of money. Like money will work. Okay, literally, the money that you hold in your hand will work and do things for you. They don't know you need people to do those things. In order for those people to do those things, you need to give them money to do it. But these people live, breathe, they think everything that they do, money will do it for them. Okay, this aspect of their brain is completely removed. They do not know that people are the fabric of things, to do things, to make things, to create things, to do all sort of things. You need food, okay, you have to plant it. Go in the field, plant it, and for it to grow, and then someone has to go and pick it up. Okay, wash it and cook it and do all of this. They do not know this part, this little aspect of these people. It's completely disappear in their brain. They only live, breathe, and harbor money alone. They do not know that you need people to do these things for you. Once you remove people, how are they gonna survive? They need people to do all of this. There's so many people who have different aspects of interest. Okay, they want to remove books. Even in the United States, when I'm saying these kind of things, that in the United States as well. Okay, the books to teach people to do these things. The people who spend so much time when none of these things, you could think of anything, okay, were in existence. Let's say cars, airplane, the Wright brothers and all of this. When none of these were in existence, somebody's brain who had interest into these things, make their brain work to create it for us to be able to enjoy it so freely like that. Okay, even boats. We had boats many years. Okay, we had rowing boats. People had to row and use their manpower. This is why they needed slaves to help them push those boats, because they didn't want to do it themselves, right? But someone's brain, okay, thought about of using mechanical things to help push the boat. But if you're removing all of those things, you don't want people to read, you don't want people to understand, to learn from past experiences, where the hell are we going in the future? We're gonna start from point blank again. Because at some point, there's gonna be a generation where all these things is gonna disappear, because some people, pretty much the ones that are about to be gone, the old, okay, the elites, okay, are about to go, but they're destroying the future of those younger ones, and some younger people don't even get to live their lives because they eliminate them. Okay, those old people feel like they're gonna live forever, but there's gonna be a period of time. It's not like I'm seeing the future. You could put one and one together yourself. There's gonna be a period of time, whoever survived this pandemic we're going through, the pandemic of stupidity, okay, there's gonna be a time, if we go along, we remove those books, we remove all this stuff, there's gonna be a period of time where those people who survived the pandemic of stupidity gonna stay in the middle and say, how do we fix this? How do we create this? They're gonna start from scratch all over again. The things are there, but they will not know how to fix it. They will not know how to create it. They will not know how to do certain things. Okay, so this is the thing many of us need to think. We need to really think of where and how we're moving, because those elite people, those people who are in control, who are in power, they think the money that they create, okay, the paper money or the coins or all of this, they have a self-built mechanism within themselves to do the things that they want to be done. They do not know, in order for things to be done, you need human beings. Okay, you could have dogs, you could have animals, but you're gonna have to train them. Again, there's come the people again. You need to train those animals to do things for you. So if you're eliminating people, the less fortunate, or you're gonna sit there and teach them how to do certain things, those animals that I'm talking about. Okay, so I don't know. We are in a crisis right now, crisis of stupidity. It's not like I'm that brilliant mind or anything like that, but we are in a major crisis. We just finished, well, we still have it, COVID is still around. We still need to be careful, but this is where the brain works. Okay, people have to think. Whoever is interested into medicine had to make their brains work, how to somewhat put a cure out there. I don't think there's a cure, but to somewhat put a halt to it, or whatever they did to prevent that from spreading. A brain, a human being had to come and put things together to make that stop. Okay, so we just came from that COVID pandemic. Now we're dealing of another pandemic, a pandemic of stupidity. Okay, we survived the pandemic. Some of us who survived the pandemic of COVID, now we are another pandemic of stupidity. How are we gonna get through that? The US, the 2020, many people worked their butt off. Okay, stand online despite the COVID to put their ballot in. Okay, to prevent COVID and the stupidity together move forward. We put a stop to one of them, which is the stupidity of well, no, I take it back. We didn't put a stop to it, because there's still some who managed to haul over that barrier of the election to still be in position of power to halt progress from moving forward. I hope you understand what I mean by those things. Okay, but we were gonna move together with a COVID and stupidity at the same time. Now there's a slight halt.
I'm Miles Taylor. I served as the Chief of Staff of the Department of Homeland Security under the Donald Trump administration. I would go into the office, I would read my intelligence brief, and then it was my job to help the Department of Homeland Security to keep our country safe. What we saw week in and week out, and for me after 2.5 years in that administration, was terrifying. We would go in to try to talk to him about a pressing national security issue, cyber attack, terrorism threat. He wasn't interested in those things. To him, they weren't priorities. The president wanted to exploit the Department of Homeland Security for his own political purposes and to fuel his own agenda. The California wildfires. On a phone call with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, he told FEMA to cut off the money and to no longer give individual assistance to California. He told us to stop giving money to people whose houses had burned down from a wildfire, because he was so rageful that people in the state of California didn't support him, and that politically it wasn't a base for him. The policies at the border, he wanted to restart zero tolerance and separate families. He said he wanted to go further and have a deliberate policy of ripping children away from their parents to show those parents that they shouldn't come to the border in the first place. A lot of the time, the things he wanted to do not only were impossible, but in many cases illegal. He didn't want us to tell him it was illegal anymore because he knew that there were, and these were his words, he knew that he had magical authorities. He was one of the most unfocused and undisciplined senior executives I've ever encountered. I came away completely convinced based on firsthand experience that the president was ill-equipped and wouldn't become equipped to do his job effectively, and what's worse, was actively doing damage to our security. People who are still serving in this administration have said to me, just wait until the second term. It'll be no holds barred, it'll be shock and awe. We'll do what we want. People who are still serving in this administration have said to me, just wait until the second term. It'll be no holds barred. It'll be shock and awe. We'll do what we want. Given what I've experienced in the administration, I have to support Joe Biden for president. And even though I'm not a Democrat, even though I disagree on key issues, I'm confident that Joe Biden will protect the country. And I'm confident he won't make the same mistakes as this president.
And stupidity, and the COVID is manageable, but we're still fighting of stupidity. We are in a pandemic of stupidity. People need to out of the sand, take their head out of the sand and focus on how we want to move forward, because many young kids are being killed. Old people who's about to go by naturally, okay? They're preventing the younger one from moving forward, and they're putting a stop to progress. I don't know. So why did I bring all of this? Because I read that. Okay. Because of Megan, she I think I remember now. Why did it take her to realize until what happened to Megan? Okay? For her to realize all of the things that she's saying. I mean, I'm not in disagreement with her, but I'm saying, why did it take Megan to, well, this is where, again, there's another thing I've said in another video. Megan was chosen by God, okay, to put these two couples together, okay, because we were moving in full darkness. So many people were so easily to take in it by the glamorous, the shiny objects,
so that I may talk, squirrel,
and completely forget reality. So Harry and Meghan have to be chosen by God, and to make people get out of their hypnotism to realize reality. I don't know, but let's continue.
Confession about the color of Archie's skin. What might it be? That was a big blow. That was a punch in the solar plexus. That really stunned us and stunned all the people in the Commonwealth who have the racial colors you and I have. You know, it stunned us. Still does. We will never forget. We can never forget.
Oh. The Brits are good at psychology. They'll make sure you forget. But it's up to you to make sure to not get caught up in their hypnotism. They'll dine, guide, and do all the things for you to forget. They know how to do that. So be careful. I'm just saying that because I've seen enough. All right, let's read some of the comment. Okay, so her thread continue. So this clip was the entire clip, and the other previous tweet were cut into different section. Okay, quote, but at tracks and records, it's clear that the monarchy is much more than just a constitutional matter. For many Jamaicans who believe it provides a cap on their sense of self-worth, a legacy of colonial past, but a symbol of present-day racism. Okay, let's see here. But what is it? Another thing is that I believe there's some different rules for Black Commonwealth countries who traveling into the UK. They make it a bit difficult for you. I don't know if many Jamaicans have traveled into the UK, but I think there's some barriers there for some black and brown countries of the Commonwealth. But when you look at, let's say, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, a little bit different. Okay, so these things, you didn't need Megan to You didn't need Megan to open your eyes, but you were already facing it. They already made you immune to it where you didn't even recognize. And this is why sometimes I don't mind doing those videos, because so many people don't have time to sit back and look at things and, you know, see how things is going, because you guys are too busy with your own lives. Why are you too busy with your own lives? Because the institution makes sure you're busy. You're always busy to provide for the wealth that they need out of you, so you don't have time to sit back and look at the nonsense that they put in. They distract you. The young people, when you look at TikTok, but now, okay, young people are using TikTok for better things. I didn't share that with you. There's a young lady who was going through some stuff with her father. If I come across it, I'll share it with you. I didn't even bookmark it. Is that she's using TikTok as a way to help her get out of certain things she's going through. So, but before, they glamorize things to distract people from moving forward. Okay, so instead of looking at the laws that will change and shape their future, they distract you with different things. But young people are getting it. They're starting to get it. Enough is enough. Because when they realize that they need to do certain things, but meanwhile, when they were so busy glamorizing into the shiny object, okay, the squirrel kind of things,
so that I may talk, squirrel.
The laws were changing underneath them. Their freedoms, certain freedoms were removing right underneath them. So they're starting to realize that. When you look at the 90s, for instance, this is where certain things were starting to take shape, where the next plan to remove or to shape the future was in the 90s. When you look at what is it, Girls Gone Wild or something, during a spring break, where young people going to the, let's say, Florida, the warm weather, to celebrate or whatever it is. You see those videos where young people were having good time. They make, you know, they were in videos. They make, how do they call this? Girl Gone Wild. They're removing their top and they're recording them and all that. And I remember I used to watch those things. They were part of TMZ, I think. And this is I think it was the beginning of TMZ. I spoke about the beginning of TMZ in one of my old videos on PYTE. Okay, this is where things were starting to shape for the next generation. Okay, they'll start from they need distraction. How do they do distraction? From doing those shiny objects, these kind of things. Meanwhile, they were planning to remove things from you where once you get older, because what is it now, they're changing age of retirement. They're trying to get, I'm talking about the United States now, and probably some part of Europe, like France, age of retirement, how your social security is managed and all of that. They were doing all of that while you were being distracted. You were having fun. And this is where I use that, what was that movie for kids? Angry Bird. Okay? I spoke about this. Okay? Where Angry Bird, they were stealing their eggs while they were creating parties for them. Okay, for the adults. Meanwhile, the two people who were trying to warn the adults that they're stealing the eggs, they not castrate, what is it? It's like they create an enemy. When you look at Harry and Meghan kind of situation, they push them out. They then take their words or whatever. So all this is already been played out. They already been played out. The reason why the UK is hanging on a slight thread, two things. There's Harry and Meghan. They didn't expect that to come. Okay, that was a complete shock to them, because they were fully on course. They were fully on their blueprint. And the court system is holding on to dear life right now in the UK. And they got themselves out of the European Union so they could have control of that. So the UK is holding on a thread, and Harry and Meghan was a sidetrack for them. They didn't expect that, and it should open some people's eyes. And if you let this opportunity pass, you all doomed. Okay? So I went off. Why did I bring all of this? I don't know. Okay, we've been in Jamaica asking people about the coronation, widespread disinterest. Most people we spoke to were more interested in the English Premier League this week than the British royal family, and feel only one of these UK institutions welcome black people. Okay, this is a thread, but I don't want to go into it. The royal family still, in my opinion, does not have the full understanding of the level of self-harm they inflict with how they treated Meghan.
The king has taken on. What kind of king do you think he'll be?
Well, you know what you're getting because he's been practicing for a bit. And I don't think he'll change.
They don't see it because they always have their way. They continue to feel like they're gonna have their way. But you could understand them. Like I've said in many other videos, they have people in different bases. I call them bases. Like in baseball, you have bases where you know you're safe. So they have people everywhere. You just need a couple of them to say enough is enough. So in order for those people to understand, it's when they go through some hardship themselves, they will understand. But they always have the monarch to back them whenever they are in trouble. So like this that I just shared with you, Britain is a constitutional monarchy based on 400 years of laws created by the elite establishment for the benefit of the elite establishment. Okay? So this is that. When I did that video regarding what is it, black people, how they portray people in the papers once they saw that the poor whites were mingling with black.
When racism as such, as a philosophy, kicked in, was as a direct reaction to the abolitionist movement. The abolitionist movement driven by some of the leading intellectuals of the day, as well as driven by hundreds of thousands of ordinary people in this kingdom who signed petitions after petitions and presented them to the House of Lords. When the abolition movement really kicked in from the 1780s onwards, the planters had to respond. And so this is where you get the most virulent imagery about brutal, pagan, bestial.
But the media is a powerful force.
Black people in the literature and in the imagery.
Cartoons portraying black people as licentious and depraved began to circulate.
But the media is a powerful force.
The anti-abolitionist Edward Long wrote,
"The lower class women in England are remarkably fond of the blacks. In the course of a few generations more, the English blood will become so contaminated with this mixture as even to reach the middle and then the higher orders of the people. This is a venomous and dangerous ulcer that threatens to disperse its malignancy far and wide until every family catches infection from it."
But the media is a...
Okay, this is how. Okay, they always paying attention to what's going on. They always see how their benefit is gonna be disturbed.
Not my king! 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 Charles, why are you wasting our money on your pointless parade? Charles, why are you wasting money on your pointless parade, Charles? You can hear people booing you, Charles. Charles, you're going to answer your critics. Why didn't you pay inheritance tax, Charles? Charles, why didn't you pay inheritance tax? Are you going to answer your critics, Charles? How about you and me and live debate, Charles? Answer your critics. Come on, Charles.
The king has taken on. What kind of king do you think he'll be?
Well, you know what you're getting because he's been practicing for a bit. And I don't think he'll change.
They're always paying attention. But it's you guys, the little people, because they keep on throwing hardship into you where you don't have time to think about their problem. Okay? But they're always looking at what you're doing. Okay? So from the time where poor white people were mingling with the blacks, they wanted to put a stop to it right away. Okay? They put a stop to it by, they don't go straight to you and say, stop doing that. No, they put the imagery to start embed the psychology of things. This is why I said the UK is a master of psychology. Okay? They start putting those things, imageries, how bad things are, how this and that. Okay, they put caption under those imagery to enter that psyche of you to dislike black people. But as soon as things started getting too close for comfort, okay, look how they welcome Meghan in the front and the facade. They welcome Meghan while you will embrace them. They're good, they're nice, they welcome Meghan. But in the background, what were they doing?
know we can rely on you for being a great guy. So what an incredible friend you were to Meghan Markle is. Have you guys hung out at all since then?
No, we haven't spoken. She just wrote me a very nice thank you letter, and I framed it, and that was very nice of her to do. She just appreciated that I was honest, but it's so funny that we live in a time where everyone's like, it's such a big deal. I just did the right thing. Right. You know, it's okay to feel like that should be the norm and the status quo, but it's like, whoa, it's so crazy. He told the truth. I think we should all be a little more honest.
Well, thank you for doing the right thing.
In the front and the facade, they welcome Meghan while you will embrace them. They're good, they're nice, they welcome Meghan. But in the background, what were they doing?
That may have been one of the things that upset her. And of course, the photographs were a setup. I was set up by a guy named Jeff Rayner and another guy named Dylan Howard, who was with American Media, I think. And the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
The savagery, the same kind of things that they've been doing years prior. So none of this, I mean, we need to understand their perspective so we don't get shocked. So we need to look out for your best interest, because they're looking out for their best interest. You have to look out for your best interest. How them inserting their will on you affecting you to live a peaceful life. So this is the thing that you need to look out into. Okay, yes, you need to work hard, put food on the table, but you need to also dedicate some time into looking into what they're doing, the same way they dedicate a good portion of their life, their time into what you're doing, so you don't interfere into theirs. Okay, so all these play a good role in it. Okay, so this is gonna be by itself. I need to create another one. Okay, they really don't see. Okay, I read this. The royal family still, in my opinion, does not have full understanding of the level of self-harm they inflicted with how they treated Meghan. Okay, I just went into that. Okay, they really don't. So they will keep re-experiencing it like Groundhog's Day. Okay, like I just said, they have people in their corners to look out for them, and they spend money like nothing. Okay, people are struggling. There's one video, should I say one tweet that I came across. They just did a party in the lawn. So I have to laugh about it. Do you think they care about you not paying your bills, not having food on the table? No, that bubble is there. They're inside that bubble. So let's see here. These people do not learn from history, so they are doomed to repeat it. So much of what happened to Meghan and Harry happened to Diana, just with a thick layer of racism and xenophobia added on. I mean, it doesn't affect them. It continued. They've been in existence for 400 years, like I just read. So I don't know. They are fine, I think. They don't see anything. They continue. This is our lifetime now. We're seeing. Who knows what was going on the previous centuries, I should say, 100 years prior. How did those people were surviving? Did they see some of the things that we are seeing? Okay, but we already know the institution love to create their own history book. Okay, so we will never know. So this is why we have to write our own history, to say this is the pain that these people are going through, because the monarch will never write the history of the pain, of the suffering they're inflicting onto other people. Do you think they will do that? No. So we see the pain that's going on. They know how to reshape history for their own benefit. Okay, I read that. Just like Diana, Meghan, and Harry are very manipulative and attention. No, I did not read that. Whatever, we know the truth about that. We know who are in control. We know who are in power. Harry and Meghan don't come out every single day to say a damn thing. They only come out when it's becoming a little bit too much. Like the other day, what was it they were talking about? And Megan, was it the Sussexes? I had to put a statement for the Sussexes. So no, this I have to say, is that you, William? Is that you writing this under this? Okay, and now it's too late. The funeral and all the nasty briefing around it show how the whole family despised having Meghan around. If they couldn't hold back their racist hate for the freaking funeral for the Queen, how much do they act racist in their everyday lives? Okay, what was it? There's things that come out that what is it? Andrew easily call people the N-word. So, they don't see the pain that's going on outside of their bubble. It's not for them. It's not for them. Again, we come back to this. This is very telling. And it's true. I believe it. Okay? And they've been shouting it from the rooftop to anyone who may have missed it ever since. What was it not too long ago? What? Yesterday in my video? Princess Anne, tell you exactly what needs to be said. Okay? What are you expecting from Charles? You should not be surprised. I'll put the clip.
The king has taken on. What kind of king do you think he'll be?
Well, you know what you're getting because he's been practicing for a bit. And I don't think he'll change.
Okay, you should not be surprised because he's gonna continue the same thing. So why should we be surprised? I'm sorry if I'm being harsh to some people's feeling, but it is what it is. We need to live in reality. I added the link to the thread. All right, let's see here. Thank you. Where can I view the entire video? There's that. All right, there's that lady. Okay, Joe has more of it. Here's accompanying article. So there's that. Okay. All right, so let's move on. You know what? This is gonna be a video by itself, and I'm gonna separate the two things that I video clips. I'm not even halfway to some of the things that I have bookmarked for you. It's exactly 4 a.m. right now. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for, let's say, light shine on us, because we need to see the light. Light shine on us, not just you, us. Okay, God, your light is the commencement and culmination of creation. From now until forever, you are the light of life. You invite us to walk in your light and become lights to the world as we do so. Revive our hearts to sing. Quote, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm thinking of Harry and Meghan's song to their wedding. All right, let's pick that one. Let's pick this. Hope it's big. Okay. Glorious God, I know that salvation is a gift from you. I know it's not something that my action can earn, but with me today, make my action so loving and good that other people see those works and glorify you. I pray that you use me as a servant to show others to glory of God. Amen. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it simple because I have more things to share with you. All right, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. With the amount of tweet that I'm supposed to be doing and edit, I'm supposed to put make my Shopify shop live today, so we shall see. All right, the link of the shop will be in the description. It's been there, even though it's not public yet, but I put it there until so I don't go back to all of the videos. All right, so that's it. Like I said, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link in the Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that's it. Let me do the next video.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.